welcome back to AV Chess Lab. Today we're going to be doing some tactics, and I am not stopping until we get to 2000. So let's go. All right, so our opponent here plays knight to f5. So what is it that we're supposed to do? Oh, okay, I see. So by removing this pawn from here, we'll be able to push and then push again and win a piece. So we take here, we push, and all right, we just win a piece. Good, so we're 1894, and they just took here on g5. So what do? We could win a queen with rook to e7, but then he takes here. We check. We have to go king to h3, otherwise it's checkmate. He goes rook g3, check. King to h2. If knight to f3, we have rook takes, and if rook check, we can take, rook check, king takes, and I think we come out of this up a rook, I believe. All right, so we have to go here, he takes, okay, and king to h2. All right, so far it's going great. So the recommendation is to do at least 15 of these every day, especially early before you start any kind of training, just so you get warmed up. So that when you do start your training, everything flows and you're able to absorb more of it, more of the information you're trying to get from your training. So what's happening here? So if we put a rook on f8, we're going to be attacking the pawn on f2 with our queen and whatever rook is here. So rook here, queen there, rook covers. That doesn't work because he's also dropping the bishop. So if rook f8, the queen has to go to g5, and then rook f5 picks up the bishop as well. Okay, so I like that. Okay. All right. Very good so far. So what's happening? This rook here looks very vulnerable. But is there a good way to get to it? I also need to be very careful because this is a big threat, obviously. Rook to f2 looks very interesting because we're just threatening checkmate in a few moves. And if rook takes g7, we simply go king f8 and nothing's happening. So rook takes f2 looks to me like the move. But okay, rook takes f2. Can he go like rook e1? Yeah, but then I have checks on this side. Okay, it looks like I'm just winning. Okay, so he decided to drop back with the bishop. So what do we do now? Maybe we just go and we should be able to win some material somewhere. Check on a4. King goes back to e1. Nothing seems to happen there. Queen to d3 is also extremely interesting. I like queen d3, but I have a feeling it could be wrong. Yeah. So let's go back and move. Queen d3 has to win, but it's probably not the best move, obviously. So what do we do instead? Do we just simply take? No, that's not it. I'm gonna give it one more shot, and if this doesn't work, then no, it's not that. All right, not exactly sure what the, do they tell us a hint? Hint is that I need to move my queen. It's not much of a hint. Oh, I'm so dumb. Queen c5 just attacks both the rook and bishop. All right. And it's not that either. Okay, I give up. Let's move on to the next one. All right. So the white pawns are going that way and the black pawns are going this way. And this black king doesn't seem to be in a very comfortable position. So king here, we are automatically threatening checkmate with our rook. So there's not a good way for him to protect that. And if he moves this pawn forward in order to create a square for the king on h7, then we'll go king g6, and he can't stop the checkmate. So we'll go for that. And okay, he's just giving us a bunch of free stuff that this will be checkmate in one move anyway. Okay, we've gotten one wrong, but that one we got wrong, I couldn't even figure out the solution, which is weird. All right, so what's the thing here? So there's some ideas, and when the king comes to h2 and we give a check, for example, along this diagonal, whenever this queen covers, we give a check on the back rank and we win the queen because the king has to take and then we take the queen. So I'm pretty sure this puzzle is related to some idea like that. So we give a check and then check on h1 and we take. So it's a very common theme, and I've seen that idea before. That's why it came to me so quickly. So why aren't I just taking the knight? So queen takes knight. We're going to be hitting this knight on f5, and we're also hitting the pawn on f7. The question is there a better move? There's also this, attacking the queen, but then the queen simply just moves back. And then I don't see the continuation. So it's not pawn takes. Queen takes, knight d6. Then pawn takes, the queen has to take. But nothing seems to be happening there either. Ah, but after knight d6, we can push the pawn and this bishop is trapped. Okay, so that's the idea. All right. All right, this one was beautiful. I quite like this one. There's a combination of a couple of interesting ideas. Okay, so this rook is attacking our queen, but we can simply go bishop there, pinning it. And I don't see how he gets out of it. Now we can give a check, and pick up the, okay, it stopped right there. I was ready to take the pawn. All right, so we're missing our queen, and that usually doesn't go well for me. I like my queen. I like my queen quite a lot, actually. But okay, I don't know how white is stopping my rook from coming to g1. So if there was a pawn or a bishop on this square, it would be simply checkmate. And I honestly don't see how he prevents that. There are some ideas. After we put our bishop there, he can go bishop f7. We take. but he doesn't have any good checks after. So I'm just gonna go there, take the bishop. Okay, yeah, that one wasn't that wasn't too hard. It was just the idea of seeing the all his possible checks after the move bishop to f3. But okay, our rating is now 1979. We're getting closer to that 2000 goal for today. So this one, I have a feeling this one involves some kind of Greek sacrifice. Those of you that aren't familiar with what the Greek sacrifice is this bishop takes on h2, king takes h2, knight g4, the king goes back to g1, queen to h4, and it is impossible for the player to stop queen to h2 checkmate. But what always ends up happening in these kind of positions is that after you take on h2, king takes, and knight to g4, the king comes to g3. And that's when you need to get creative. After the queen goes there, after the king goes to g3. Because if we go queen to g5, then a move like d4 happens, and this bishop will be attacking our queen. Then we go queen to h5, threatening checkmate on h2. And after that, I don't see, honestly, how he prevents it. He would have to go queen takes knight, and bishop, and we just take with the queen, right? Or the bishop, whatever. Okay, I kind of like that. So let's go for it. Oh, he just simply took. Okay. All right. So any checks on this diagonal, if he pushes the pawn, bishop can take. And if pawn takes, the queen can take the rook. So that's one idea. Also now, if we give a check, if the king goes to d2, then this bishop check, king to e2, and bishop to g4 will win a queen. So that looks promising. Now the question is, okay, there's no question with that. So the move is this, and bishop takes, and we just take the oh. Oh, I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. We take, and if king here, we give a check. King to f2, and this is checkmate. And if king there, we just go queen there, checkmate. So I'm so dumb. All right. I went for an idea I had in my head, but I didn't realize that I could just finish the game. So that means we get to do one more. So let's see. How do we finish this game? I like ideas of simply taking the rook, bishop takes. I'm playing a move like rook here, trying to pin the bishop. But if we take, bishop takes, if rook here, he has king here, and it's not working. So there has to be another move. Rook here, he takes, I take, and I'm not seeing my next move. So it cannot be that. All right, this one might be, we might have to do something clever. So okay, let's take, bishop takes, and rook here. Where does he go with the bishop? The bishop doesn't have a lot of squares. So let's say he goes back to e7. Then we go rook to c2 with a couple of threats. On c8, checkmate. Not checkmate because he can go to f8, but the idea is, the main idea is not to give the check on c8, but to actually go rook to c7. And his rook is kind of trapped. So if he has to take, pawn takes, and there's no way for him to stop the pawn from promoting. So that seems like the way to go. Okay, he simply took there, but his rook cannot take because we give a back rank checkmate. So we're not quite at 2000, we're 1998. So I guess we have to continue. So what's going on? Seems to me like a lot of threats happening here on this side. So it has to be some combination of something there. So queen h6, g6, and rook h3. Why is not that working? He takes on, he takes nothing. He can go rook c4, queen takes h7, king f8. All right, it looks to me like we're taking a lot of pawns. So let's go for it. Rook h3. Let's take stuff. All right, I guess they just stopped it right there. But this is the plan. The king moves. And actually, after the king goes to f8, we can throw in this rook to f1 first. Oh, we can't. We're getting checkmated. So this has to be a very forcing line. So king to f8, king h8, king e7, queen here, check. The king goes here. And then we can take here, check. King here. And then we take on g6 and we protect against the checkmate like that. Who knows? Maybe. All right, so we reached our goal. We're at 2008. So thank you for watching. And as always, stay safe, have a great day, and show respect to your opponent. See you next time.